Hey there, Jurgen. I'm definitely Mandy and not Simon.
I can see that.
Just a word on Manchester City, first of all. 5 Premier League titles for them in 10 years. Having been a manager in the Premier League yourself for over 5 years now, how would you sum up that achievement for them?
Great achievement. Congratulations. I texted Pep last night, already texted Ilkay, obviously, and really well done. Very difficult year for the whole world, for all football teams as well. What they achieved so far in this year is exceptional. Having won the titles in the past now in this 5 in 10 years. I think it's always like this, when you bring together financial sources and football knowledge, then you have a good chance to create something special, and that's obviously the case. City has an incredible squad and the best manager in the world, so that makes it a good recipe, I would say. It's always a joy to play against them, because it's just a massive challenge from a football point of view. You can beat them, but you have to be at your absolute top to do so, and we could do that from time to time, but this year obviously not. And so, well-deserved congratulations.
And for you, how big a challenge, looking to the United game, do this United side pose? And how much credit does Ole Gunnar Solskjaer deserve for the way that he's developed a team that are still quite a young team?
Yeah. So that's a good mix. So age-wise, I would say it's a really good mix. The offensive potential they have, obviously, I'm not sure if you still consider, I don't know exactly how old is Marcus Rashford, 21, 22, 23 meanwhile. So he looks quite young, but obviously is meanwhile very experienced. But yeah, Mason Greenwood, absolutely exceptional offensive talent, one of this English generation of offensive players, which is absolutely incredible. If you count them all, you think, oh, who want to leave out? There's Greenwood, Foden, Mount, striker, then Sterling, Sancho. Sterling is not a young one, but Sancho, and on top of it, it's absolute, wow, what a generation. Yeah, and Ole did a really good job. We spoke about that before. Did a really good job, and they play some really good stuff, and that's why they are in the position they are in. How I said, they will become pretty sure second. If I'm not sure that's already secured, but that was a good season for United in a difficult year, how I mentioned before.
Thank you very much, Mandy. We'll go to Vinny for 2 questions, and then we'll go to Ian from BBC Merseyside.
Jurgen, after the postponement of the initial game, what concerns do you have over security and safety of your players now?
No concerns really. We are absolutely, nothing is in our hand in this perspective. So, but we trust the authorities. Obviously, we were not in danger last time when we were at Manchester. That was not about that. The supporters protested against some other stuff, and I have no idea what will happen tomorrow night. But I'm not concerned at the moment.
We've also seen quote from Virgil Van Dijk when he said, "Gutted to not be going to the Euros, but it is the right decision." Just wondered, how did that decision come about? And supplementary to that, are there any concerns about Jordan Henderson from an England perspective as well? And how's his recovery from injury going?
No, obviously Henderson's injury is a completely different thing. Hendo doesn't play in the moment, so that in the end it must be a decision by, and doesn't train. He doesn't train normally with us, and so that's a decision at the end between Gareth and Hendo. But I think there's a chance for sure. Unfortunately, not for us, but for England. Then, with Virgil, it's just a completely. That's really, it's one of the most serious injuries you can get, and I don't know exactly how it came up that he has a chance for the Euros, because the injury he had is an average. People say that can take 11 months. So it happened in October. That would mean September. So we all hope, because it's going really well, and we are all individuals and react differently in specific moments. And the plan is for us that he can start a preseason with us, but even that is not sure. So that the Euros were just in absolutely the wrong moment. But the good news for for Holland as well is then that when he will be fit, because we will not force it, because we cannot force it, he will be then 100% fit when he's coming back, and the next big tournament for Holland is waiting, so they can then qualify for the World Cup in Qatar or wherever it will be, and and then everything will be fine. But we all have to be patient. And for a player, of course, he feels that the start of rehab with these injuries is really tough. I cannot recommend that. It's really tough. Pain like crazy. All this, don't sleep. You're worrying. All these kind of things. When you overcame that, then you make steps, of course, because we do really good stuff with the boys in rehab, and medicine. Meanwhile, is really able to deliver a lot of good things, which makes life easier, and you make big steps and you get more positive. And in that moment, there's a situation. I'd never wanted to cut the Euros off, but I always knew with normal measurement, with common sense, there's no chance. And now finally it is announced, and it takes pressure off Virgil, and which is important. Now he can completely focus on the right things in the right moment, and then hopefully he can start soon with us again.
Thank you very much, Vinny. We'll go to Ian Kennedy from BBC Merseyside, then to Ian Abrams from TalkSport. But Ian first, Kennedy.
Hi, Jurgen. 3 of your remaining league games are away from home. Normally, in a normal kind of season, that would be, a difficult end to the season. But this season, how do you approach that? In a way, does it help that you're away from home in the season that we've had?
Thank you. We won the last. Did we? The last home game?
Yes, Southampton.
Yeah. So means we it was never about Anfield, so we all know how important the atmosphere at Anfield is. But we are the next one is United. Play with the full playing against United in a full stadium is a tough task. Playing in an empty stadium is a tough task. So I don't see any kind of advantage or disadvantage for any team. I think United had the best away record this season, probably. So maybe it's an advantage that we play them at home. Don't know. We'll see that. West Brom then and Burnley with supporters. So Burnley for us, Turf Moor is always tough to go there as well. So there will be then, I don't know how many people, but if you will be there, they will celebrate a good season. So that's not an advantage. And our home game against Crystal Palace, obviously we have then our supporters in, so we are looking forward to that. But we have absolutely we don't think about where we play, against who we play. Yes, we think about, but not in general. We just have to make sure that we win the football games, because that's the only chance for us.
Yeah, and you've said after the last few games that all you can do is try and win your games. Does that in a way at all affect your strategy or tactics going into these last few games at all, or do you stay the same?
Well, it would be really funny. I know maybe you didn't see that, but actually our plan was to win all the football games we played this season. So we don't change that. Do we have to take more risk in the last few minutes when it's a draw or something like that? It looks like a draw. That's possible, but not planned in the moment. If we have now, if it's 0-0, we bring everybody who is a striker or used to be a striker or whatever. It's just the normal way. If you play a football game and you think only about attacking, you lost before the first whistle. And that's one, especially against United, obviously, with the quality they have. And so we need to make sure that we are ready, like always. In the situation we are in. That's why I'm not sure, but I think we are not that bad in the form table in the moment. So the last 5 games or so, we should be quite okay. But there were 2 draws and where we lost the game pretty much in the last minute, and that felt really harsh. So you could never get this feeling of kind of a winning streak or whatever, or not losing, or these kind of things, because it's so important. And that's the situation. We know that. And the plan is to give it a proper try tomorrow night.
Okay, thank you. Ian Abrams from TalkSport, then Carl Markham from Press Association, and to finish the open section, Stephen Douglas from Associated Press. But one from you, Ian, first of all.
Hi Jurgen, how are you? You well?
Good, thank you.
It's kind of 2 questions in one really. First is, as a manager with likes of Virgil Van Dijk and Jordan Henderson, do you need to put an arm around them because they're missing a May, or Virgil will miss a major tournament? Jordan, as you said, may miss the tournament with England. You have to put an arm around them to console them because of obviously they're huge players. And secondly, after having scored nearly 200 points in the last 2 seasons, how much catching up do you think your team have to do next year on this Manchester City side from this year?
Do they need an arm around? Yes, maybe not always literally, but of course, I understand that their situation pretty well. Not that I would have been even close to a European Championship as a player, but I know what it means if you miss a big personal target. So that's not nice. But especially for Virgil, I think it was always looming around that it will be probably the case. So if no miracles happen, then it was always clear that must be the decision in the end. And Hendo is not out yet, so that I have to say, he's. So look, Hendo didn't train yet with the team, but between the last match day and it will be probably around the last week where he has a chance to train with us. But then he was too long out to play for us. But then he would be completely fit. And what makes it really different to all other English players, probably he would maybe Declan Rice as well. He would be properly rested. Because the problem, what all the managers have in a moment, each injury you get now is first and foremost it's probably a season ending, even when it's not a serious injury. But with the tournament coming not too far after it, it could threaten the tournament as well. So, or a potential final or whatever is coming up there. So that means Hendo will be then rested and has then a proper preseason for the Euros. So if everything works to plan, no, he's not out of that. Second part of the question.
Big gap to Man City.
Big gap. Yeah, look, my concern this year is not a gap. Like, I don't think we had last year created a pretty big gap between us and other teams. And that didn't. We always knew that doesn't mean we are now 20 odd points better than other teams. We have to win next year football games, and the City is not the only challenge. I think Chelsea looks. I said when Thomas arrived there, this squad is a present, and together with Thomas, obviously it works out pretty well. And if you look at the squad, they can make 11 changes, and you think, oops. That's a proper team. And they will go for it next year, definitely. They will not get worse. That's a fact. United, it's in a good way. So it's not about who is far away or whatever. So it means just you have to win your own football games, and that's possible. And our season was really difficult, but we don't close our eyes for the facts. We know 5-6 points for us more. That even in the season with the injuries we had, we should have in the moment. We know that. That means we don't blame anybody else but ourselves, because then we would be closer to the Champions League spots. Then we have 4 games to go, proper chance, all these kind of things. Now we need help from other teams. Obviously we have to win our own games, but need help as well. That's not the situation you want to be in, but it's the best we could get, and now we deal with that.
Okay. Last 2 questions from the Open before we go to the hands up for the embargo section. Carl Markham, followed by Stephen.
Hi, Jurgen.
Hi, Carl.
Hi, I'm the team news guy again. Just wondering if you've got anybody back who was missing at the weekend.
No.
No. Not at all. So that gives you questions in central Spain. Are you confident you can go into a game with Reece Williams and Nat as centre backs at Old Trafford?
Yep.
They did a good job for you last weekend, so I guess you have to put your faith in them at some point and say they've got to deliver rather than
look,
trying
it's
to rely
all.
on Fabinho to plug.
Yeah, no. Look, it's all about. So it's your job is really nice, and the job of a supporter in this case is really nice. So it's like, you have to invite them to play and stuff like this. So my job is as well to we train from time to time, and you cannot just put a boy on the pitch. I mean, if he's not in the shape for that in that moment, you have to find another solution. You don't line a player up, especially not a young one, and hope that it will work out. By the moment when the boys show up in training, when they have a momentum in training, these kind of things, then it's a good moment for that. And there's not, And Reece, for example, is now in a really good moment, and that helps obviously. And for who we will line up, we will see. We have this afternoon a session, and what this season taught us: don't make the lineup too early. or fix the lineup too early in your mind, because there could happen something that you have to change it, and that's how it is. But whoever will play tomorrow night, we will try to win the game, and we will see how it works out.
Finally then, Stephen from Associated Press to finish this section, then we'll go to the hands up in the embargoed section.
Hi again. It's just a question about United's team selection yesterday. It didn't really do Liverpool any favours, because it helped Leicester's cause in a way. So did you think that was justifiable, or were you a bit, privately slightly annoyed that it gave Leicester a helping hand compared to Liverpool?
No. It was the lineup I expected. Not exactly the lineup, but I knew that he has to make these changes. They played on Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday. So, and I said it 500 times, that with all the things happened and the protests at Manchester that caused, obviously, leaded to that situation, is to play Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday is a crime. It is, and if but it's not the fault of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and the players. So if my question was to myself, would I have done the same? Yes, you have to. You have to. We are late in the season. All the players, there are a lot of teams. United went to the European League final. That means an awful lot of games. And now you get Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday. That's not possible. But the weekend after is a weekend off for United. So they play now Thursday, and then the weekend after. So I'm not the guy who's doing the schedule, and the fixture list. But in my understanding, when we thought about how could it work out on the day when the game got cancelled, we drove home in the bus and we made already our fixtures. There was no Tuesday, Thursday game in, and we all would have played all the games. You would have removed one West Brom game, but that didn't happen. The explanation for that was from the Premier League. Nobody should suffer, no other team should suffer because of the things what happened at Manchester. So let me say that didn't work out pretty well. Obviously nobody else, but a little bit West Ham, a little bit Liverpool. But if we don't go to the Champions League, if we don't qualify for the Champions League, it's not a fault of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer because of team selection or the Premier League, it's our fault. But in this specific case, I think you could have done differently, definitely. But you get more and more used to that things barely go into your favor or direction. You just accept it. That's how it is.